Hare Krishna, Dandapanam Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Mangacharan.
Hare Hare.
Om Ajnanaतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll continue with our prayers. Anybody would like to sing today? You get the link and put it in the chat. Amresh Prabhu, would you like to try?
Yeah, I can try.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu. You have the screen share and the link also shared in the chat. Yeah.
प्रलयपयोधिजले धार्तम् असिवेदम् विहितवहित्रचरित्रम् आखेदम् केशवधृतमीनशरीर जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। क्षितिर इह विपुलतरे तिष्ठति तव पृष्ठे धरणिधरन् किनचक्रगरिष्ठे केशवधृत कूर्मशरीर जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। वसति दशनशिखरे धरणि तव लग्न शशिनि कलङ्ककलिवनिमग्न केशवधृत शुकररूप जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। तव करकमलवरे नाखम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् दलितहिरण्यकशिपुतनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृत नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। चलयसि विक्रमनिवालिम् अद्भुतवामन पदनख नीरजनित जनपावन केशवधृत वामन रूप जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। क्षत्रियरुधिरमयि जगत् आपागत पापम् स्नपयसि पायसि समित भावतापम् केशवधृत भृगुपतिरूप जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। वितरसि दिक्षुरनि दिक्पतिकम कमनीयम् दासमुखमौलिवालिं रमणीयम् केशवधृत रामशरीर जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। वाहसि वपुषि विशदे वसनं जलदाभम् हलधतिभितिः यमुनाभम् केशवधृत हलधररूप जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। निन्दसि यज्ञविधिरहः श्रुतिजातम् सदय हृदय दर्शितपशुघातम् केशवधृत बुद्धशरीर जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। म्लेच्छ निवाह निधने कलयसि करवालम् धूमकेतुम् इव किम् अपि कारलम् केशवधृत कल्किशरीर जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे। श्रीजयदेव कविरिदम् उदितम् उदारम् शृणुसुखदं शुभदं भवसारम् केशवधृत दासविधारूप जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे। वेदनुधारते जगन्ति वहति भूगोलम् उद्विवते दैत्यं दरायते बलिं चलयते शत्रक्षयं कुर्वते पौलास्त्यं जयते हलं कलयते करुणायम् अतान्वते म्लेच्छन् मूर्छयते दशकृतिकृते कृष्णाय तुभ्यं नमः। हरे कृष्ण। जय कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Krishna. Yes. Shri Dashavatara Stotram ki jai. Shri Jai Goswami Pad ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Amrish Prabhu. Yes, anybody would like to read the translations this morning?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, please. Yeah.
O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of a fish, all glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish just to give protection to the Vedas, which had become immersed in the turbulent sea of devastation. Second, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a tortoise, all glories to you. In this carnation as a divine tortoise, the great Mandara mountain rests upon your gigantic back as a piet of churning the ocean of milk. From holding up the huge mountain of large scar-like depression is put on in your back, which has become most glorious. Third, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of a boar. All glories to you. The earth, which had become immersed in the Garbhodaka ocean at the bottom of the universe, sits fixed upon the tip of your tusks like a spot upon the moon. Fourth, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a half man and half lion, all glories to you. Last, as one can easily crush a wasp between one's fingernail, so in the same way the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakashipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails on your beautiful lotus hands. Fifth, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana, all glories to you. O wonderful dwarf, by your massive steps you deceive King Bali, and by the Ganges water that has emanated from the nails of your lotus feet, you deliver all living beings within this world. Sixth, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Bhrigupati, Parshuram, all glories to you. At Kurukshetra, you bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from the bodies of demonic kshatriyas that you have slain. The sins of the world war are washed away by you, and because of you, people are relieved from the blaze of material existence. O Keshava, O Lord of Hari, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who gaze assumed the form of Ramachandra, who has assumed the form of Ramchandra. All glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroy the 10-headed demon Ravana and and distribute his head as a delighted offering to the preceding deities of the 10 directions, headed by Indra. This action was long deserved by all of them, who were much harassed by this monster. O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Balaram, the yielder of the prawl, all glories to you. On your brilliant white body, you wear garments the color of fresh blue rain cloud. These garments are colored like the beautiful dark hue of river Yamuna, who feels great fear due to the striking of your plowshare. Ninth, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you. O Buddha of compassionate heart, you decry the slaughtering of poor animals performed according to the rules of Vedic sacrifice. 10th, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Kaliki, all glories to you. You appear like a comet and carry a terrifying sword for bringing about the annihilation of the wicked barbarian men at the end of the Kaliki Yuga. 11th, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed these 10 different forms of incarnation, all glories to you. O readers, please hear this hymn of poet Jayadev, which is most excellent, an awarder of happiness, a bestower of auspiciousness, and it is the best thing in this dark world. 12th, O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you, who appear in the form of these 10 incarnations. In the form of Matsya, you rescue the Vedas. As Kurma, you bear the Vandra mountain on your back. As Varaha, you lift the earth with your tusk. And in the form of Narasimha, you tear up open the chest of the Daitya Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vamana, you trick the Daitya King Bali by asking him for only 3 steps of land, and then you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Parshuram, you slay all of the wicked Kshatriyas, and as Ramachandra, you conquer the Rakshasa King Ravana. In the form of Balaram, you carry a plough with which you subdue the wicked and draw towards you the river Yamuna. And as Lord Buddha, you show compassion towards all the living beings suffering in this world. And at the end of the Kali Yuga, you appear as Kaliki to bewilder the Malechas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. In this translation, I think there are few typos here. I think mostly it is from and bodies of the demoniac. So, but yeah, but still, the essence is there of the Lord's 10 incarnations, and we bow down to the Dashavatars of the Lord. Okay, so we'll continue with chapter 19 of Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrit. We are continuing from here. We are seeing yesterday the sincere early followers of Srila Prabhupada are coming in the morning to hear from him in his apartment, and then in the evening they're that fully transformed the storefront into a temple, and Prabhupada is performing his evening classes and kirtans in the new storefront, the new matchless gift temple of Shishi, Radha and Krishna. Okay, and we see how they're using all the musical instruments that they're bringing. Some of them have brought some drums or some flutes and harmonium, and they're using, and then cymbals, kartals. So yeah, I think we're starting from this highlighted paragraph. I'll continue reading. But there was a limit to the extravagance. Sometimes when a newcomer picked up the kartals and played them in a beat other than the standard 1, 2, 3, Swamiji would ask one of the boys to correct him, even at the risk of offending the guest. Prabhupada led the chanting and drummed with one hand on a small bongo. Even on this little bongo drum, he played Bengali mridanga rhythms, so interesting that a local conga drummer used to come just to hear. The Swami gets in some good licks. The Swami's kirtans were a new high, and the boys would glance at each other with widening eyes and shaking heads as they responded to his chanting. comparing it to their previous drug experiences and signaling each other favorably. This is great. It's better than LSD. Hey man, I'm really getting high on this. And Prabhupada encouraged their newfound intoxication. As maestro of these kirtanas, he was also acting expertly as guru. Lord Chaitanya had said, there are no hard and fast rules for chanting the holy name. And Prabhupada brought the chanting to the Lower East Side just that way, a kindergarten of spiritual life, he once called the temple. Here, he taught the ABCs of Krishna consciousness, lecturing from Bhagavad Gita and leading the group chanting of Hare Krishna. Sometimes after the final kirtan, he would invite those who were interested to join him for further talks in his apartment. In the back room of his apartment, Prabhupada was usually alone, especially in the early morning hours, 2, 3, and 4 a.m., when almost no one else was awake. In these early hours, his room was silent and he worked alone in the intimacy of his relationship with Krishna. He would sit on the floor behind his suitcase desk, worshipping Krishna by typing the translations and purports of his Srimad Bhagavatam. But this same back room was also used for meetings, and anyone who brought himself to knock on the Swami's door could enter and speak with him at any time, face to face. Prabhupada would sit back from his typewriter and give his time to talking, listening, answering questions, sometimes arguing or joking. A visitor might sit alone with him for half an hour before someone else would knock and Swamiji would invite the newcomer to join them. New guests would come and others would go, but Swamiji stayed and sat and talked. Generally, visits were formal. His guests would ask philosophical questions and he would answer, much the same as after a lecture in the storefront. But occasionally, some of the boys who were becoming serious followers would monopolize his time, especially on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday nights when there was no evening lecture in the temple. Often they would ask him personal questions. What was it like when he first came to New York? What about India? Did he have followers there? Were his family members devotees of Krishna? What was his spiritual master like? And then Prabhupada would talk in a different way, quieter, more intimate, and humorous. He told them how one morning in New York he had first seen snow and thought someone had whitewashed the buildings. He told how he had spoken at several churches in Butler, and when the boys asked what kind of churches they were, he smiled and replied, I don't know. And they laughed with him. He would reminisce freely about the British control of India and about Indian politics. He told them it was not so much Gandhi as Subhash Chandra Bose who had liberated India. Subhash Chandra Bose had gone outside of India and started the Indian National Army. He entered into an agreement with Hitler that Indian soldiers fighting for British India who surrendered to the Germans could be returned to the Indian National Army to fight against the British. And it was this show of force by Bose, more than Gandhi's non-violence, which led to India's independence. He talked of his childhood at the turn of the century, when street lamps were gaslit and carriages and horse-drawn trams were the only vehicles on Calcutta's dusty streets. These talks charmed the boys even more than the transcendental philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and drew them affectionately to him. He told about his father, Gaur Mohan De, a pure Vaishnava. His father had been a cloth merchant, and his family had been intimately related with the aristocratic Mulliks of Calcutta. The Mulliks had a deity of Krishna, and Prabhupada's father had given him a deity to worship as a child. He used to imitate the worship of the Govinda deity in the Mullik's temple. As a boy, he had held his own Rath Yatra festivals each year, imitating in miniature the gigantic festival at Jagannath Puri, and his father's friends used to joke, Oh, the Rath Yatra ceremony is going on at your home, and you do not invite us? What is this? His father would reply, This is a child's play, that's all. But the neighbor said, Oh, child's play? You are avoiding us by saying it's for children. Prabhupada fondly remembered his father, who had never wanted him to be a worldly man, who had given him lessons in Vedanga, and who had prayed to visiting sadhus that one day the boy would grow up to be a devotee of Radharani. One night he told how he had met his spiritual master. He told how he had begun his own chemical business, but had left home and in 1959 had taken sannyas. The boys were interested, but so ignorant of the things Prabhupada was talking about that at the mention of a word like mridanga or sannyas, they would have to ask what it meant. And he would go on conversational tangents, describing Indian spices, Indian drums, even Indian women. And whatever he spoke about, he would eventually shine upon it the light of the Shastra. He did not ration out such talk, but gave it out abundantly by the hour, day after day, as long as there was a real live inquirer. At noon, the front room became a dining hall and in the evenings a place of intimate worship. Prabhupada had kept the room with its 12-foot square hardwood parquet floor clean and bare. The solitary coffee table against the wall between the two courtyard windows was the only furniture. Daily at noon, a dozen men were now taking lunch here with him. The meal was cooked by Keith, who spent the whole morning in the kitchen. At first, Keith had cooked only for the Swami. He had mastered the art of cooking dal, rice, and sabji in the Swami's three-tiered boiler, and usually there had been enough for one or two guests as well. But soon more guests had begun to gather, and Prabhupada had told Keith to increase the quantity, abandoning the small three-tiered cooker until he was cooking for a dozen hungry men. The boarders, Raphael and Don, though not so interested in the Swami's stock, would arrive punctually each day for prasadam, usually with a friend or two who had wandered into the storefront. Steve would drop by from his job at the welfare office. The Mott Street group would come, and there were others. The kitchen was stocked with standard Indian spices, fresh chilies, fresh ginger root, whole cumin seeds, turmeric, and asafoetida. Keith mastered the basic cooking techniques and passed them on to Chuck, who became his assistant. Some of the other boys would stand at the doorway of the narrow kitchenette to watch Keith as one thick pancake like chapati after another blew up like an inflated football over the open flame and then took its place in the steaming stack. While the fine basmati rice boiled to a moist, fluffy white finish and the sabji simmered, the noon cooking would climax with the shawns. Keith prepared the shawns exactly as Swamiji had shown him. Over the flame, he set a small metal cup, half filled with clarified butter, and then put in cumin seeds. When the seeds turned almost black, he added chilies, and as the chilies blackened, the choking smoke began to pour from the cup. Now the shawns was ready. With his cook's tongs, Keith lifted the cup, its boiling, crackling mixture, fuming like a sorcerer's kettle, and brought it to the edge of the pot of boiling dal. He opened the lid cover. He opened the lid cover slightly, dumped the boiling shawns into the dal with a flick of his wrist, and immediately replaced the lid. Pow! The meeting of the shawns and the dal created an explosion, which was then greeted by cheers from the doorway, signifying that the cooking was now complete. This final operation was so volatile that it once blew the top of the pot to the ceiling with a loud smash, causing minor burns to Keith's hands. Some of the neighbors complained of acrid, penetrating fumes, but the devotees loved it. When lunch was ready, Swamiji would wash his hands and mouth in the bathroom and come out into the front room, his soft, pink-bottomed feet always bare, his saffron dhoti reaching down to his ankles. He would stand by the coffee table which held the picture of Lord Chaitanya and his associates, while his own associates stood around him against the walls. Keith would bring in a big tray of chapatis, stacked by the dozens, and place it on the floor before the altar table, along with the pots of rice, dal, and sabji. Swamiji would then recite the Bengali prayer for offering food to the Lord, and all present would follow him by bowing down, knees and head to the floor, and approximating the Bengali prayer one word at a time, while the steam and mixed aromas drifted up like an offering of incense before the picture of Lord Chaitanya. The Swami's followers bowed their heads to the wooden floor and mumbled the prayers. Prabhupada then sat with his friends eating the same prasadam as they, with the addition of a banana and a metal bowl full of hot milk. He would slice the banana by pushing it downward against the edge of the bowl, letting the slices fall into the hot milk. Prabhupada's open decree that everyone should eat as much prasadam as possible created a humorous mood and a family feeling. No one was allowed simply to sit, picking at his food, nibbling politely. They ate with a gusto Swamiji almost insisted upon. He saw someone not eating heartily, he would call the person's. If he saw someone not eating heartily, he would call the person's name and smilingly protest, "Why are you not eating? Take prasadam." And he would laugh. "When I was coming to your country on the boat," he said, "I thought, how will the Americans ever eat this food?" And as the boys pushed their plates forward for more, Keith would serve seconds, more rice, dal, chapatis, and sabji. After all, it was all spiritual. You were supposed to eat a lot. It would purify you. It would free you from Maya. Besides, it was good, delicious, spicy. This was better than American food. It was like chanting. It was far out. You got high from eating this food. They ate with the right hand, Indian style. Keith and Howard had already learned this and had even tasted similar dishes. But as they told the Swami and a room full of believers, the food in India had never been this good. One boy, Stanley, was quite young, and Prabhupada, almost like a doting father, watched over him as he ate. Stanley's mother had personally met Prabhupada and said that only if he took personal care of her son would she allow him to live in the monastery. Prabhupada complied. He diligently encouraged the boy until Stanley gradually took on a voracious appetite and began consuming 10 chapatis at a sitting, and would have taken more had Swamiji not told him to stop. But aside from Swamiji's limiting Stanley to 10 chapatis, the word was always more, take more. When Prabhupada was finished, he would rise and leave the room. Keith would catch a couple of volunteers to help him clean, and the others would leave. Occasionally on a Sunday, Prabhupada himself would cook a feast with special Indian dishes. Steve. Swamiji personally cooked the prasadam and then served it to us upstairs in his front room. We all sat in rows, and I remember him walking up and down in between the rows of boys, passing before us with his bare feet, and serving us with a spoon from different pots. He would ask, what did we want? Did we want more of this? And he would serve us with pleasure. These dishes were not ordinary, but sweets and savories, like sweet rice and kachoris, with special tastes. Even after we had all taken a full plate, he would come back and ask us to take more. Once he came up to me and asked what I would like more of. Would I like some more sweet rice? In my early misconception of spiritual life, I thought I should deny myself what I liked best. So I asked for some more plain rice. But even that plain rice was fancy yellow rice with fried cheese balls. Okay. We'll stop at this paragraph. On off nights, his apartment was quiet. He might remain alone for the whole evening, typing and translating Srimad Bhagavatam, or talking in a relaxed atmosphere to just one or two guests until 10. But on meeting nights, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, there was activity in every room of his apartment. He wasn't alone anymore. His new followers were helping him, and they shared in a spirit of trying to get people to chant Hare Krishna and hear of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Wonderful. Okay, anybody would like to share anything from today's reading?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. It was a very, very vivid and aromatic and very delicious description of reading today. It was the most amazing tadka, description I've ever heard, which made me laugh. It was very nice, and I was. It felt like I was there watching all of this while you were reading it. It was so nice. How Prabhupada would have, I always wondered how Prabhupada have taught all the American boys and girls at very young age art of Indian cooking, which requires so much of things. It's not simple. All the Matajis know that it takes effort to cook an Indian meal. And how Prabhupada did it. And on Sundays, he used to cook so many special dishes, like kachoris, so elaborate prasadam, and feed like a mother to everybody who came, not like, just not a formality, but he took care who wants more and who needs to feed less. The person who was taking 10 chapatis, he made sure that he's not eating more than that. So it is very nice to see that how Prabhupada cared like a Indian mother to all the people who came there. I think all those small, gestures of Prabhupada, his welcoming heart, made them come and come again each day. Along with philosophy was there, but it is more of his care and love for everyone, which he showed and showered on his early disciples, which kept them going and made the basic foundation. So I feel this is what we need to imbibe as well. Prabhupada's mode of, caring, genuine caring and loving for everyone we meet, however we can do. Yes, Prabhu, that was my intake. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes. And this is like we said yesterday, this is the path. The path of bhakti is the path of love, path of care, genuine love, pure love, right? Unadulterated, unalloyed. So yeah, not mixed with anything else. It's pure, and that's what we see here from his demeanor and activities. It is like when Krishna expands, he expands. There are three basic Shaktis, we say, right? Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat is the Sandini Shaktis, and Sambit and Ladini. So when he expands as Sat, Sandini, which is actually Balaramji, and then the Ladini is Radharani, and the Chit is actually the Man. So if you see, it's very fascinating, the whole expansion of the Lord is only Krishna everywhere. He is expanding himself as Balaram to which is like the Sandhini is Sat, which is to perform the different leelas, and then Chit is the mind, and Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that I am the mind, right? So he is the one actually seated in everybody's heart and playing all the drama, and then of course Ladini, here we see the motherly love that you're talking about is the pure love of and care, compassion, the mercy that Srila Prabhupada had. That is the Ladini Shakti that is coming from Srimati Radharani. So technically, whatever we see around us, we can actually think that Krishna is performing all these different leelas through the Shakti of Balaramji. And then, the whole point is to develop that love for God, which is Srimati Radharani. But we have to master and we have to surrender to the Lord, who is actually our mind, but by controlling the mind, and which is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If we do that, then the mind, which is Krishna himself, will come under our control, come under the control of the devotees. So it's a very simple philosophy, but takes practice to master it. And Srila Prabhupada is seeing everything here as Krishna's divine intervention, how Krishna is guiding these young, interested devotees. And we can see the love that he has coming from Srimati Radharani, and he's showering that love on these sincere souls. Yeah, thank you. Anybody else would like to share anything? Okay, if not, then we'll conclude here. Thank you once again for your association on Saturday morning. Look forward to seeing you all at the center today. And with Vaishnava Pranam prayers. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Have a great day, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.